Chapter 1: The Founding of the Club. In the quiet town of Maplewood, there wasn't much to do for teenagers seeking excitement. But 16-year-old Clara was different. She had an insatiable curiosity and a love for mysteries and adventures. Inspired by the stories she read and the old detective novels her grandfather left her, she decided to create the Adventure Club. Clara recruited her closest friends: Jack, a tech-savvy and resourceful boy with a knack for hacking into databases and finding information; Lucy, an athlete with a daring spirit and a black belt in karate; and Sam, a bookworm with an encyclopedic knowledge of history and geography. Together, they formed the core of the Adventure Club, vowing to seek out and solve the mysteries of their town. Their first meeting was held in Clara's attic, which they transformed into their headquarters. The attic was filled with old maps, books, and mysterious artifacts that Clara had collected over the years. The walls were lined with corkboards where they could pin clues and ideas, and a large wooden table stood at the center, covered with papers and drawings. Chapter 2: The Missing Treasure Map. One rainy afternoon, as the club members were brainstorming their next adventure, Clara's grandmother handed her an old, tattered envelope. "I found this in the attic," she said. "It belonged to your grandfather. Maybe it will lead you to your next adventure." Clara opened the envelope carefully and pulled out a yellowed piece of paper. It was a treasure map, drawn by her grandfather when he was young. The map showed a part of Maplewood they didn't recognize, with landmarks that seemed long forgotten. Intrigued, Clara and her friends decided to follow the map and uncover its secrets. The next day, they set off on their bikes, following the directions on the map. They rode through the town, past the old mill, and into the woods. The map led them to a hidden clearing, where they found the remains of an old cabin. Inside the cabin, they discovered a rusty metal box buried under the floorboards. With great anticipation, Clara opened the box. Inside, they found an assortment of old coins, a pocket watch, and a journal. The journal belonged to Clara's grandfather and detailed his adventures as a young boy. He wrote about finding the treasure and hiding it in the cabin, hoping one day someone would discover it. Chapter 3: The Mystery of the Abandoned House. Buoyed by their success, the Adventure Club decided to tackle their next mystery: the abandoned house on Elm Street. The house had been vacant for as long as anyone could remember, and rumors of it being haunted were rampant among the townsfolk. Clara, Jack, Lucy, and Sam were determined to uncover the truth. One evening, they made their way to the house, armed with flashlights and a camera to document their findings. The house was eerie, with broken windows and creaky floorboards. As they explored, they found old photographs, letters, and personal items scattered around, hinting at the lives of the previous occupants. In one of the bedrooms, they discovered a hidden compartment behind a bookshelf. Inside, they found a stack of letters and a journal. The letters were from a woman named Eleanor, who had lived in the house during the early 1900s. The journal belonged to her husband, Thomas, and detailed the events leading up to their sudden disappearance. According to the journal, Thomas had been working on a secret invention that he believed would revolutionize communication. However, his work attracted the attention of a rival inventor, who threatened him and his family. Fearing for their safety, Thomas and Eleanor fled the town, leaving behind their home and their belongings. The Adventure Club realized that the house wasn't haunted but was filled with the memories and history of a family who had been forced to leave everything behind. They decided to share their findings with the local historical society, ensuring that Thomas and Eleanor's story would be remembered. Chapter 4: The Secret of the Old Lighthouse. The club's next adventure took them to the old lighthouse on the edge of town. The lighthouse had been out of commission for decades, but Clara had heard stories about a hidden room at the top, where the lighthouse keeper supposedly hid valuable artifacts. Determined to find out if the stories were true, the Adventure Club set off on another journey. They arrived at the lighthouse just as the sun was setting, casting long shadows across the rocky shore. The building was in disrepair, with broken stairs and rusted railings. Undeterred, the club members climbed to the top, carefully navigating the treacherous path. At the top, they found a locked door that appeared to lead to the hidden room. Using his lock-picking skills, Jack managed to open the door, revealing a small, dusty room filled with old maritime artifacts, maps, and journals. The most intriguing item was a large, ornate chest in the corner of the room. Inside the chest, they found a collection of navigational tools, a logbook, and a small wooden box. The logbook detailed the lighthouse keeper's voyages and discoveries, including a mysterious island that he claimed was filled with treasures. The wooden box contained a beautifully crafted sextant, a compass, and a map to the island. Excited by their discovery, the Adventure Club decided to plan an expedition to the island. They spent weeks researching and preparing, gathering supplies, and learning about navigation. With the help of the lighthouse keeper's map and tools, they were confident they could find the island and uncover its secrets. Chapter 5: The Expedition to the Mysterious Island. On a bright summer morning, the Adventure Club set sail for the mysterious island. They had rented a small boat and packed enough supplies for a week-long expedition. The journey was challenging, with rough seas and unpredictable weather, but their determination kept them going. After several days at sea, they finally spotted the island on the horizon. It was a small, lush landmass surrounded by coral reefs and crystal-clear waters. They anchored the boat and made their way to the shore, eager to explore the island. The island was a paradise, with vibrant flora and fauna, hidden caves, and pristine beaches. As they explored, they found evidence of the lighthouse keeper's visits, carved initials in tree trunks, remnants of campfires, and hidden caches of supplies. Using the map and their navigational tools, they made their way to the center of the island, where they discovered a hidden grotto. Inside the grotto, they found a small altar adorned with seashells and precious stones. In a stone niche behind the altar, they discovered a metal box containing a collection of gold coins, pearls, and a beautifully crafted dagger. The box also contained a letter from the lighthouse keeper, detailing his adventures and his decision to leave the treasures on the island to be discovered by future explorers. The Adventure Club was thrilled with their discovery. They carefully documented everything and decided to leave most of the treasures on the island, taking only a few items as souvenirs. They wanted to preserve the island's beauty and mystery for future adventurers to discover. Chapter 6: The Town's Secret History. With their latest adventure behind them, the Adventure Club returned to Maplewood, eager to share their findings. Their reputation as young detectives and adventurers grew, and they became local celebrities. People from all over town began approaching them with stories and mysteries that needed solving. One day, an elderly woman named Mrs. Kensington visited the club's headquarters. She brought with her an old, tattered book filled with newspaper clippings, letters, and photographs. The book detailed the history of Maplewood, including a series of unsolved mysteries and forgotten events. Mrs. Kensington explained that she had spent years researching the town's history, but there were still many unanswered questions. She hoped that the Adventure Club could help uncover the truth and preserve Maplewood's heritage. The club members eagerly accepted the challenge. They pored over the book, piecing together the stories and searching for clues. They visited old buildings, interviewed longtime residents, and scoured the town's archives for information. Through their research, they uncovered fascinating stories about Maplewood's past, including a forgotten gold rush, a secret underground tunnel used during Prohibition, and the mysterious disappearance of a renowned artist. They documented their findings and presented them to the town's historical society, ensuring that these important stories would be preserved for future generations. Chapter 7: The Final Mystery. As the Adventure Club continued their work, they learned about a legendary artifact known as the Crystal of Eternity. According to local legend, the crystal had the power to grant eternal life and had been hidden somewhere in Maplewood by a secret society known as the Guardians of the Crystal. Determined to find the crystal and uncover the truth behind the legend, the club embarked on their most challenging adventure yet. They followed a series of cryptic clues that led them to hidden locations around town, including the old church, the cemetery, and the town hall. At each location, they found pieces of a puzzle that, when assembled, revealed the location of the crystal. The final clue led them to a secluded cave on the outskirts of town. With a mix of excitement and trepidation, they made their way to the cave, determined to solve the mystery. Inside the cave, they found an intricate labyrinth filled with traps and obstacles designed to protect the crystal. Using their combined skills and knowledge, they navigated the labyrinth and reached the heart of the cave, where they found a small, ornate box. Inside the box was the Crystal of Eternity, a beautiful, multifaceted gem that glowed with an otherworldly light. Alongside the crystal was a letter from the Guardians, explaining that the crystal's true power was not to grant eternal life, but to inspire hope, courage, and unity in those who sought it. Chapter 8: A Legacy of Adventure. With the crystal in hand, the Adventure Club returned to Maplewood, their hearts filled with pride and accomplishment. They had solved the town's greatest mystery and uncovered a powerful symbol of hope and inspiration. The town celebrated their success with a grand ceremony, during which the crystal was placed in a special exhibit at the local museum. The Adventure Club story was shared far and wide, inspiring others to seek out their own adventures and uncover the mysteries of their own towns. As they stood together, watching the crystal sparkle in the museum's display, Clara, Jack, Lucy, and Sam felt a deep sense of fulfillment. They had formed a bond that would last a lifetime, and they knew that their adventures were far from over. Epilogue: The adventure continues. Years passed, and the members of the Adventure Club grew up, but their spirit of adventure remained strong. Clara became a renowned archaeologist, traveling the world and uncovering ancient mysteries. Jack used his tech skills to develop innovative tools for explorers and researchers. Lucy pursued a career in law enforcement, using her courage and determination to solve crimes and protect her community. Sam became a historian and author, sharing the stories of their adventures and inspiring others to explore the past. Despite their different paths, the friends remained close, often reuniting for new adventures and mysteries. They continued to seek out the unknown, driven by their curiosity and love for discovery. The Adventure Club had become more than just a group of friends. It was a legacy of courage, friendship, and the unbreakable spirit of exploration. And so, their story continued, a never-ending journey filled with excitement, challenges, and the thrill of the unknown.